Good evening, and welcome to evening prayer with the people of Trinity United Church in Prince George, British Columbia. We're really glad that you're able to take some time to spend with us, grounding each other and ourselves in holy mystery through the spiritual practice of prayer. If there's ever a chance that you want to have something included in evening prayer, person, place, event, you can send it to the email that's now on your screen. It's really easy, prayer@trinitypg.ca. As soon as we get it, we'll include it in evening prayer and keep including it until you ask us to stop. Well, it's Thursday, so the next time we'll get together for prayer will be on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, either here on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our website, trinitypg.ca. In the meantime, I thought I'd end this part of our week together with something a little humorous. It's a short video, doesn't take very long, 47 seconds, but it's a reflection on what was really popular during the 60s. I even remember it from my childhood growing up in Newfoundland, where Jell-O salads were still a thing. I mean, I'm not sure they were still a thing for kids, but certainly adults seem to love them. So here's a video about the 7-Up Lime Jell-O salad from 1963.
A 7-Up Jell-O salad from '63. Let me tell you, this recipe. Cream cheese. Gotta get you fluffy. Half a cup of mayo. This went downhill pretty quick. Water. Fire. Lime Jell-O. More like crime Jell-O. It's like reading directions to purgatory. Whoop. Star of the show. Now we have carbonated mayonnaise lime water. Don't ask me how it smells. Gotta chill. Pineapple and maraschinos. Everything's so sticky. Okay. Cool Whip. 1, 2. Marshmallows. With the mayo. Walnuts. Unholy. See you later. Good morning. Woo. There's so much going on! Sorry, I can't say it's bad. It tastes like aggressively sweet fruit salad put into lime gelato. That doesn't make any of this okay.
Now, I hope you had as much fun watching the person in that short video as you did what he was saying. I mean, apparently, the whole recipe seems like directions to purgatory. And at one point, all you end up with is carbonated lime water. And then there's the whole part where he adds in the marshmallows, and it's with mayo, walnuts, unholy. And yet he follows it through, mixes it all together, puts it in the Jell-O mold, puts it in the fridge, lets it set overnight, and gets up the next morning anxious to see what's happened with his 7-Up Lime Jell-O salad. His reaction, I think, is almost as priceless as the time it took him to put it together. Tastes like aggressively sweet fruit salad put into lime gelato. That doesn't make any of this okay. An unlikely combination of ingredients. Cream cheese, mayo, lime Jell-O, maraschino cherries, pineapple, walnuts, all put together with 7-Up. What you have is something that he can't say isn't okay. As we continue this journey through Mental Health Week, I'm reminded that there's lots of times we just need a good laugh. Lots of times we just need to find something funny, something humorous, something to chuckle about, something to share with someone that's just going to bring a smile to their face. I also think the whole jelly salad video is a bit of a metaphor for the current time we find ourselves in. We've been given some of the most unlikely of ingredients. The question is, what are we going to do with them? How is it that we're going to find the silver linings in everything that's going on right now in the world? When are we going to find time to make sure we laugh and embody joy within ourselves and with others? When are we going to take the time to just notice what's going on around us and sit back and relax and appreciate the moment, sitting deeply in the presence of the holy? Not everything associated with the pandemic was or is bad. There are lots of things that have happened that probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the pandemic. The ways that people have come together and celebrated one another, supported one another, encouraged one another, looked after and cared for one another, probably wouldn't have happened if we'd been all so busy trying to get to the next event, the next meeting, moving kids from point A to point B, or grandkids and picking them up, making sure they're fed before they're dropped off for something else. The reality of it is, it's an unlikely combination of ingredients. And yet, we can't say it's been all bad. I also think the whole salad metaphor works for a church in general. If you think about how it is that we tend to function as a faith community, the reality that it's an unlikely combination of people who come together to form something more than any one of us could have created on our own. The technical term for that is synergy. Put stuff together, you get more than the combination of the parts. It's not just pineapple and walnuts and 7-Up. There's something new that is created when you combine all of those in the right mold, in the right container. They can influence and shape and mold, bring out various different aspects of one another. I think that's true of our faith community. When I think about who is part of our community, it is an unlikely gathering of people. There's no other way to describe it. The folks that are part of the resident Trinity community and the wider Trinity community, it holds true regardless. Where else might we have all met, come into relationship, into dialogue, conversation with one another? Sure, some of us may have crossed paths somewhere because we like classical music or we like sports, but the odds of all of us coming together, well, I think it's almost inexplicable. And yet it works. It works because we want it to work. It works because we make space to include one another, to value one another, to affirm one another, to be grateful for one another. And so as we transition into prayer for this evening, I invite you to think about the unlikely folks that are part of your life. Think about the mold that holds it all together. For us, that being the presence of the divine through the movement of the Spirit embodied in the life and resurrection of Jesus. Think about how those ingredients are held together in a truly sacred and special way. So friends, let's join together in prayer. Creator, you blend us together in the most unlikely of ways, causing us to share the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the intelligence, the passion, the creativity that each one of us embodies with others, creating the context in which we can be held and molded into disciples of Jesus, the synergy of our community becoming something far more than the mere sum of its parts, the mere listing of names, Facebook accounts. You ground us in a presence that shapes us. It's your love that unites us. Love as the parent has loved me, so I have loved you. Joyous, comforting, abiding. Love one another as I have loved you. So simple in its direction. Anyone can understand it. Just do as you do for us. Love, your joy may be complete, and it is sublime, reassuring, just what we need to hear. Love. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Wait, what are you saying, God? I love my friends. Sure, of course I do, but isn't that taking it a step too far? Love, you are my friends if you do what I command you. Come on again, Jesus. You know that's hard. Your friendship now conditional? Is that really what you mean? Love. Go and bear fruit that will last, you tell us. And our response is, okay, that sounds better. That sounds more like the God we've come to know through Jesus. I'll try that. I really will. And yet, oh God, as we move about your creation, stay close to us. Remind us of your presence. Remind us that we can't do it on our own, that none of us is really an island, that a salad isn't one ingredient. And so we give you thanks for this expression of your holy and sacred divine community. We give you thanks for each person that is part of your church, especially Trinity United. With a deep sense of gratitude, we marvel at the passion and the creativity, at the intelligence and wisdom and life experience that is present in this community. We're humbled by people's commitment to living out our vision of being an inclusive fellowship with a living faith, engaged in joyful service, being anti-racist, and celebrating affirming ministry. It's not easy. And yet somehow, when your love in all of its different permutations and realities and expressions and experiences gets mixed in with it all, it holds that all together in a way that doesn't break. In a way, kind of like a jelly salad, where it can jiggle, it can move, it can wiggle, but it doesn't fall apart. It's resilient, it's flexible. Help us to remember that that's who we are. And that's who we continue to become. And so this evening, as we join together in prayer, we name before you, O God, Donna and Aaron, Jackie H., Joe M., Pearl and Kevin, Brenda and Irv, Gordon and Marg, Jim and Sylvia, CJ, Claudia N., Laura B., Ann C., Larry T., Catherine, Corey G., Sig V., Bruce C., Gary G., Rose B., Marg C., Regan and JJ, Laura H., Elaine H., R., Sarah and Daryl, Colette. And we remember the family of Rose Dorish as they prepare to celebrate her life and mourn her death. Be near all of those, O God, who are struggling with runaway COVID numbers, folks who are wondering if it's safe to go outside again, and those who are challenging the very systems that are in place to keep us safe. Together, help us to be your community. For we pray in the name of the risen one. Amen. Thanks again for joining with us here at Trinity United Church for evening prayer. As I mentioned, we do this pretty much every night, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Pacific. On Sundays, we invite you to join with us for worship at 10 a.m. Pacific on either our website, trinitypg.ca, here on Facebook, or on YouTube. One way or the other, we hope that wherever you find yourself this evening, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, between now and when we gather together again, it's a place where you can be safe, be calm, and be community. Let's continue to invest in the common good and the common health of one another. Be kind to one another, grateful for one another, and let's acknowledge that we don't really know what's going on in everybody else's jelly salad, but we do know one thing for sure. When God brings us together as a community, something miraculous and phenomenal can happen. We'll see you again on Sunday morning and then on Monday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific for evening prayer.